All right, welcome. Josh, you want to do the intro?
Hey everybody, Josh Thomas. Welcome to Main Street Business Alliance. I'm here with Tobin Brognier, Ray Miller, Daniel Ferreira, and we're going to talk a little bit today about what a virtual storefront is and how it's actually built so that we can get the results that we get. And we're going to do our best to keep this kind of on a surface level and not dig too far into the technology. But the idea here is we want to kind of pull back the curtain, see how the sausage is made so that you understand a little bit, well, how do we get so much success and results for local searches so that people can see what you have in your store and they can come in and buy those products. And so, Ray, you've been building these. First of all, before we get into this, before you started building virtual storefronts, what have you done before this?
A lot. I retired from the Pentagon. I had an office in the Pentagon, and I was a security specialist, and I was responsible for an agency within the Pentagon, about 500 to 600 people. And I worked directly for a 3-star general, and I worked for a couple agencies, and go on and go for, it's a lot of military background, government background, and so I know technology very well. Not just because I was a security specialist, but I was also electronic technician in the Coast Guard and worked at Research and Development Center for the Coast Guard. Spent 5 years there, college campus, working with doctors, engineers, and scientists. So I have a lot of technical background behind me, and I'll just leave it at that. As a former government employee who bumped into Tobin, and we just got talking, and we started brainstorming, and I guess he discovered that I can give him some pointers, and he's taken some of the ideas that I had offered him and run with it. And of course, we're, with Daniel and Tobin, we're like BFFs, the three of us.
So virtual storefronts built with high-tech government secret software. Got it. Okay, that's our tagline.
No, that's not it at all. Tobin is the brainchild behind the whole thing. Let me give you my quick description.
The government is not allowing me access, so it's definitely not.
No. I gave up my clearance when I retired, so I had,
So,
not bringing any of that knowledge with me.
So to give you an idea of how Ray operates, we're currently building the virtual storefronts connection app, the shopping app that connects shoppers to the public right now, and everyone else has like 20, 30 sessions. Ray will have like 140 sessions, in that app, like going through every detail, figuring out so he's really our technology. I'm the technology skeptic. He's the technology optimist. So we kind of balance each other out that way, which is great.
Got it.
Yeah.
And so Daniel, you can translate for us for those of us who are not super technical and we're not really ready to get so far into the weeds. How do you see this shaping up? You've been around for a while. How have you seen this shaping up over the last 6 months or a year?
Well, I mean, the main thing is that you need to go to all the trouble to manage web page and security certificates and domain registration and everything. You just need social media and virtual storefront.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Yeah,
you have to know how the hammer was forged in flames to bang a nail.
That's right. Yeah, and so we are going to get a little bit into how the hammer was made today, but not too much because we do want to focus on hammering those nails.
Yes.
And go ahead, Toby.
Yeah. So what Danny just said was essentially, and all of us, I think, everyone on this call lived through the era of like everyone has to reinvent their own wheel, right? So like we all have to build our own websites and get our own like from the ground up, and we're now at a phase in the world of the internet where that just doesn't make any sense anymore. So so instead of everyone having to do their own security certificates, register their own domain, find their own hosting, come up with their own name, we've just kind of like put all that together and built a single page. Technically speaking, it's a landing page solution that is a virtual storefront. I think probably if we're going to talk about how they're built, we should just look at a storefront. And I don't have an example up currently, but I could bring one up.
Yeah.
Is
And
that
so,
what
yeah, while you're doing that, Ray, could you walk me through? So we're gonna bring on a new store, and we're gonna collect a little bit of information from them, and then you receive that information. Tell us a little bit about what do you do to actually build this thing?
Well, understanding that a storefront is nothing more than a Chef Ramsay style menu web page. And if you understand how to do a Facebook business profile, then the first thing you want to do is collect data. So we're going to scrape the internet and gather all the data. And so I create a data set, which is basically like a Word document, and I label it data set and then the name of the store, and then I put the business owner's name in their phone number, and I start collecting all this data, their address, and all the different links that they have, whether it's Facebook or Instagram or whatnot. For the link buttons, we have a Storefront Connect buttons that we plug that into. And so I'm gathering all this data, and then actually making the storefront is easy because it's a cookie cutter. And you just basically plug in the images that you saved on your
template
hard drive, and it's not that hard. And so being a merchant ambassador, you can make some serious money, I think, once we have these storefronts rolling in great numbers, because I'm going to need help, because it's just going to, because I could see this thing becoming where I can't keep up with all the storefronts on my own. But yeah, it's just going to be awesome. And again, it's a cookie cutter. You throw in the pictures, it works just like a Facebook business profile. So if you ever built one of those, you can easily build a storefront. It's that simple. Plug and chug.
And
So-
what's so great about this, and I just want to comment, Tobin, real quick, because it's so simplistic, we're able to offer it at a very attractive price, and it's hands-free. It requires no marketing budget or design skills or anything like that. We do all the work. We set it all up. We collect all of the information, and it's just like setting up your Facebook page. The only difference is it lives on Google, and when people are searching in your local area with intent, you're going to show up on those search results. And the difference between somebody seeing something on Facebook when they're scrolling through trying to keep up with their flat earth conspiracies or whatever it is that they're following, that's passive. They're not thinking about doing business in that moment. But when they go and do a Google search, they want whatever it is that they're searching for. So it's a totally different intent when they're going on Google. And if you're showing up on top, then you got a much better chance of getting that business. What were you going to say, Tobin?
I think that's a really good synopsis of the purpose of a storefront. So it's a simple format, but it's achieving something that's more complicated, which is search engine is sending that data, that what we call high resolution data, because each storefront has a list of keywords. That's part of the data that is being put together when we go to any kind of online presence or their Facebook page. We and talk to the business owner. They fill out that form, and from that form, we figure out what the essence of that business is in the form of words. And that's kind of the distinction that a storefront has. It'd be the equivalent of a 20 or 30 page website, the number of words that we have defining that business. So when we send that data to Google, we're doing something that's very unusual in the marketing world. It's not just posting in this cluttered world of Facebook that you're talking about, Josh. It's actually sending the data to the search engine that is intentionally geared towards answering questions when people are looking specifically for something locally, which is exactly what you're talking about. So we want to make sure those search engines have that information, and it's not a complicated process, but it does require some kind of care, and it requires kind of envisioning how that business is translated into words, so that we can take those words, put them to Google, and then when people use the similar words when they're searching, your local business shows up above, the Walmart. It shows up above the chain stores and local search results, where those corporations are doing an amazing job of being top search results for local markets, which is a huge problem because we need to get those local businesses back in their local search results or just get them in there in the first place. So it's a simple format. And as Ray said, it's like Chef Ramsay, right? So it's not meant to be the be all end all everything. What it is, it's meant to be an appealing, simple marketing presentation that conveys the key information to the shopper. And this is important because it makes our task less hard, right? So it's just the key information, and we just focus on what's important and put that in a storefront. And then the goal is so that when a shopper sees a storefront, they get all of the necessary information they need to go into that store and shop there. So that's our intent.
Go ahead, Daniel.
Again, I realize I look like the Jolly Blue Giant here because of the way I position in a new office and I'm trying to get settled in. So remember the local.
Yeah,
So
Daniel, you're just cutting out just a little bit on your voice. I don't know if maybe get a little closer to the microphone. Maybe I'm not sure.
Well, it's we're here in the woods. So
okay, got it.
sometimes we haven't got the greatest service, but yeah, just the local honey we're using before. Once you build a stack of keywords, you set it, and then down the road at some point, like the example we used before was a local record store that happens to have other products on consignment. And so you're sitting there eating a pizza. You say, hey, before we leave town, since we're here in the mountains, I want to get some local honey. So let's just figure out where we can buy local honey. So you open up your device, you put in Google, you say, hey, where can I buy some honey around here? Well, it turns out the record store, which is right across the street from where you're getting a slice of pizza right now, he has honey at one time, and he put it on his list of keywords. And so every single search you do on Google, no matter what it is, it comes up Amazon first, buy your honey on Amazon. Then it comes Walmart, go down, drive 10 miles, because it's about 10 miles, 13, I think it is, to Walmart from there. Buy it at Walmart. And then it will say, oh, wait, across the street, there's a record store. The guy's got honey from like a local farmer. And you could go across and buy honey because you got virtual storefronts feeds Google information.
That's
right.
Yeah, so Google knows that the record store has records, right? Like that's not our big aha moment. Although we confirm that the record store has records and rank that business higher, but there's no way for Google to know that the record store has honey, has a local honey, unless there's a source telling Google that information. And that's the uniqueness of our product, is that we can actually tell Google all the stuff your business offers. And build that out in that simple storefront. So that's what Ray builds. Someone goes to the virtualstorefronts.co. They just click to make a purchase for 1 year, and it's a subscription. And once the subscription begins, then they buy the subscription, then they fill out a simple form. Then that data goes directly to Ray. And when Ray takes that data, he then kind of distills the best information and puts together a presentation, and we then give it to you, the customer, within about 7 days. Usually it's a little bit less than 7 days. Sometimes it could be more if we have a lot of work that's on our plates. But we give you a draft that's not published, and you look at it and you're like, whoa, this is like my business presented. This is actually good marketing. My background's in marketing. I worked as a photographer in New York City and Minneapolis for over 15 years total. So I have a deep background in like visual marketing. So we make a good presentation that's very simple, and then we present that to the customer. And then all you have to do in terms of work is look at it, approve it, ask for changes, and boom, Ray's creation using our simplified template goes live, and then we send it to the search engine. So that you don't have to do anything. So when you're sleeping, when you're on vacation, when you're at work, when you're eating breakfast, we are sending that data for the next 12 months to Google, and you don't have to do any work at all. And you don't have to like pay more money for Google partnership. You know, I recently saw Google partners cost, if we were an agency that had Google partnerships, it would cost $10,000. We would need to be giving Google $10,000 a month of our customers' money to be a Google partner. And I'm proud to say that we're not a Google partner because we're not giving Google $10,000 a month of your money. So we don't need to do that because we have the data.
let's just real quick, Ray, I want to ask a question about the difference between somebody looking up a store versus looking up a product. And I think that's part of where Virtual Storefronts really shines. Tobin gave the example of there's this kind of antique knickknack store that also happens to have cast iron pans, which is a really high dollar product that has great margins, but you wouldn't think that that's in an antique store. So could you talk about how do you construct this? Hey, Janice, could you talk about how you can construct this storefront so that we're catering to people that are looking for things, not necessarily stores?
Well, what I do is, besides scraping the internet, if there's questions, what I do is I reach out to the owner, the merchant, and ask them just real quick in a phone call, what 5 things that's unique about your business that's not like anyone else's like you? Meaning, like you're a antique store in this case. I said, what do you sell that's not normally found in an antique store that I could use as a featured item? And then they may give me a list of just 5. They might give me 20 items. And then I'll ask, all right, which are the top 5 of the 20? But I'll put all 20 items in the keyword stack, is what we call the keyword stack. So that we at Google will have a chance to crawl it and then make it search results for the business. And then the featured items will go into a field we call featured items. Those will be at the bottom of the app when you scroll through it. When you see the app, it's amazing. And then you'll have those 5 main things that this business does that will show up as well, along with the highlights and the rest of the product that we built in the storefront.
I think something that Ray just said that's really important that we should talk about briefly is the uniqueness of local businesses and how that's actually power in the 21st century, as opposed to chain stores, which we're competing against. All these local businesses have unique properties and unique things that they offer. And that's actually amazing because all of the keywords, a lot of those keywords for even businesses that are similar have unique keywords, and that creates a larger database. So Google is getting relevant information about the uniqueness of these businesses as opposed to the sameness of these businesses. The challenge you have when you're running Walmart is that every single Walmart has got the same inventory across the country. It's all sameness. Our power, the thing about an independent non-chain business is that, well, you don't have the power of being a franchise. When people walk into your store, you don't know, they don't know what to expect like they do when there's national advertising for Target. But so that's a disadvantage, and no one's doing national advertising for you. But one of the advantages of your local business is that you have that unique product. You have a unique offerings that are unique to your store, and that's actually together, when they work together, that's actually makes for a very powerful presence online, because all of our businesses share a database of like almost 17,000 keywords now, and it just will grow.
Awesome. And so let's, as we start to wrap up here, let's, where can somebody go to learn more about this? Who's it a good fit for? Who's it maybe not a good fit for? And what are the steps they can take?
So I'll field this. So anyone can go to virtualstorefronts.co. It is that is our sales page, or you can just Google Virtual Storefronts. We're the number one.
Okay, thank you. Hey, you come on back.
Yeah.
If you have a visitor, you can put them on. It's okay, Janice. You can say hello.
All right.
So they can go to virtualstorefronts.co, and that will have all the information you need to. That'll have all the information that you need to buy a storefront and put your order in. And I don't know what other information they might need. We're going to have a robot there pretty soon, a little like a Q&A bot that you can talk to and answer any questions. It's very easy to order a storefront, and it's very effective. What was your other question, Josh?
Who's it good for? Who's it maybe not a good fit for?
So it's a good fit for any local business that has unique offerings locally that wants to be discovered locally. So if you have whatever your service might be, if you want to rank higher, if you want to rank above chain store results, I think Janice is at a hair salon. If you want to be in Supercuts, if you want to rank above Supercuts, then you need to have a web presence, and we just kind of superpower your web presence and help you get found locally. So it's only for local, independent, non-chain businesses, and that's who it's a fit for mostly.
Good. Awesome. Virtualstorefronts.co. Ray Miller, Daniel Ferreira, Tobin Brognier, thanks so much for joining us. That'll do it for this episode of Main Street Business Alliance. If you've got questions, or if you want us to bring up a specific topic, just let us know either in the via email, or you can join our social media groups, and we'll be happy to connect with you soon. Take care.
The group with that.
Thank you, Josh.
Quick one on so Main Street Business Alliance. That's the name of the Facebook group. If you want to join us on Facebook in our group, it's a public group. You can ask any question there. We'll answer it here next week, Thursdays, 2 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Josh.
You.
Thanks, guys.
All right. You're welcome. Thank you.